The 8th of August 2015, Indianapolis, Indiana. I was on the back patio having a cigarette around 11 p.m. Out of the corner of my eye towards the east, a bright shiny object caught my attention. At first I thought it was a plane, but the glow from the object was just as bright as burning mercury. I saw no flashing markers to identify it as a plane, so I got the attention of my fiancée and she came outside and witnessed with me what happened next. The object appeared to descend a little and decrease its speed and was heading in a northeastern direction. At that time 2 more objects came into view, of which were appearing as if they were burning a red-orange color and fell behind the first object, creating a triangle formation. Seconds later the 2 objects changed color from yellow to a bright white like the first. At that point the objects seemed to cruise over the city, maintaining altitude and formation. A few seconds later 2 of the objects just disappeared and the other one accelerated and ascended out of view. I didn't know who to turn to or to call for this matter. So, I found this website and wanted to post this to see if anyone else witnessed this as well.
The 13th of September 2015, 5:38 a.m. Indianapolis, Indiana. I was in my bedroom in bed, heard noises outside which I have for past 4 months between dusk to dawn. I also seen lights dimming and brightening. It was 5:38 a.m. I got up, went into my great room, seen a something which looked like a star sparkling just about treetop in my backyard which faces east. I had my cell phone in my hand. I opened the blind and took a picture. After taking picture I looked at it and the star changed to a round white sort basketball size object. I took another picture, looked at it, the shape had changed to a boomerang one. I went back to my room, took picture toward my window, looked at it, saw orb in my room. The orbs I had been seeing outside since I purchased a security camera 2 months ago from ADT on the screen. I told a ADT tech. He said he has never seen this before. White orbs, white outside and purplish color orbs in my house and at my windows outside, mostly with faces, men and women, young and older looks, and in them when enlarged, even seen in trees in back of my house. I seen a young man in jean the side view one night in back of the orbs as if walked across my window. The orbs I see in my home only show head-like objects, sometime with things sticking out of it just above forehead. Getting back to sighting, I took a picture of my great room which faced the east toward trees. A beam of light from my fireplace mantle to the ceiling at the area of where a fan or light could be installed about 5 to 6 feet up. The object just hovered in same area, I know, 30 minutes or longer. I went back to bed. I did not feel scared but cold and covered up. I do not know how long it hovered. I do know at my window I seen it get light then dark and continued for several minutes. I don't know what to think. I feel uneasy because this has been happening 4 or 5 months with noises and orbs on security camera and cell phone camera outside after dark. I really thought it was neighbors being noisy as well. I do not know my neighbors and do not see them very often on either side of me. Houses are not far apart. For some reason when I laid down I went to sleep before daybreak. For the past several weeks I would not sleep until daybreak. I would watch television. One night my TV went out, no signal for several seconds, and came back on. I was told by boyfriend to contact UFO investigators. I'm not sleeping well at night, being visited a lot more. I don't know if my neighbors are seeing this. I think I could have download pictures but not right ones. Please delete it. I will have to send pictures to an email address. Hopefully you can give me understanding. Thanks. Sincerely, name removed.
Indianapolis, Indiana, 12:45 a.m. September 18th, Friday. Smoking cig outside and get urged to look up. Stand up and look straight up. Get very calm feeling for no reason and even begin smiling. Feeling very peaceful and even euphoric. Suddenly yellowish green disc light appears in front of me stationary, and then flies directly over me until out of sight behind the top of the house. Was probably only a couple hundred feet away. Made no noise. I reported it to MUFON. It was awesome and amazing and I can't stop thinking about it.
The 8th of November 2015, 6:38 p.m. Indianapolis, Indiana. I was driving down the road and saw this in the sky, drove around the block and took the pictures and video. The pictures do not come in as clear as we saw. It was bright and white that brightens up the whole area and hovered. A red light flashed from it and other colors circled fast. It was in a disc shape and was too large to be an airplane and too bright you'll be a star.
I know, it's not moving. Let's go over this way.
The 19th of November 2015, 12 a.m. Indianapolis, Indiana 1, in bed 2, woke up and saw them 3, advanced alien 4, they walked around my home and near my bed from a round glowing light 5, shocked 6, they walked into the round glowing light in my home and disappeared. There was 3 to 4 of them looking through my stuff and displaying, in a unique way, what they thought was interesting to the others 7. It only lasted about 3 minutes 8, they were cloaked and were transparent, but were outlined by their form 9, I think their craft was cloaked as well. I will explain that in more detail later if necessary. 10. Your format.
The 15th of June 2014, 12 a.m. I'm a fireman from Indianapolis, Indiana. I have been a space junkie for years. The guys at the house call me the space nerd, and come to me for answers to questions about physics and some basic info about how the universe works. I'm no expert by any stretch, but I've watched enough H2 to be dangerous, lol. Anyway, the event I'm talking about was by far one of the most unusual I've ever seen. Now let me state that I have seen some interesting things during my 43 years, but this was pretty cool. I wish I had video, but I know that you accept from time to time info without media to back the experience. So here we go. Myself and a fellow firefighter were sitting out back of our firehouse in Indianapolis and were amazed at what we saw. We had just returned from a fire and were out back of the firehouse discussing the events that had just transpired. I'm speaking of the fire we had just put out. While we were in the back of the firehouse, I noticed it first, then my buddy whom I have worked with for several years. I looked to the sky and noticed an object that was traveling in a sight line from east to west over the city. This was a very large object for its distance, but seemed to be flickering, or flaming, as it moved in its direction. Now please understand that I've seen many falling stars, meteorites in my 43 years. But the speed that this object moved was way too slow to be considered a falling star. Also the trajectory was a straight line. Horizontal. Not vertical or at an angle. The time that the object was observed was approximately 1 to 3 minutes, and it was captivating because of how it moved and the way that it flamed as it moved through the sky. Meteorites tend to move quickly. This was very slow for what I've ever seen as far as travel for a meteorite. The object came into view what seemed to be out of nowhere. Traveled the direction, all the time being very bright, and flickering. Also during travel time, it finally went out of sight. Maybe it burned out or traveled out of sight. I'm not sure. We have talked about this several times since it happened. Because it was profound. In all my years of sky watching and space study, it was truly amazing to see such an event in my own backyard. Darren, I love the show. I've wanted to share this event with others outside my fire department family for a bit now. I'm watching your show as we speak actually. Lol. I'm not a goof or someone who exaggerates stories. This was truly an amazing sight. Again, I wish I had video. It would have been great for the show. Keep up the good work.
The 22nd of August 2015, 11:30 a.m. on the way back home from an appointment, I spotted an object over a small dark cloud. Pointing to it, I asked my mom, "What is that?" She saw it in the sky as well, and we both freaked out a little bit. It was saucer-shaped, with a silver body, white dome top, and black bottom. It was far away and up high, so it seemed small from our point of view, but it was easily in our vision. It simply stayed above the cloud, not moving. It was a very quick event, no longer than 10 seconds before we lost sight of it. We were driving and trees blocked our view very soon after we saw it, and when the trees cleared, I pulled my phone out to take a picture, but it was absolutely nowhere to be seen. The object completely disappeared from the time we lost it behind the trees to when we could have seen it again. We couldn't find it at all. We even slowed to see if we were just going too fast go see it. It was just gone.
The 15th of April 2015, 9 p.m. Beech Grove, Indiana. I was stopped at an intersection heading south. I saw a light in the sky shoot from the east to west and make a 90-degree turn straight down toward the earth. Never changing speed considerably faster than a plane. I was in the US Air Force and feel I am somewhat knowledgeable of aircraft.